All right, we'll get this meeting of the City Council to order for Monday, September 16th. If you could all join me in pledging allegiance to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Our first item on the agenda is to, well, actually, all members of the council are present. Our first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. We do have one addition, and it is a claim that came in from the North Cooch Area Sanitary District. And that is $158,704.87. So the chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with that additional accounts payable.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councilor Holden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Wegner. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. We'll go to the minutes of Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Councilor Buller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Wagner. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Go to the minutes of our Committee of the Whole meeting of September 9th. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those.
I'll make that
We
motion.
have a motion by Councilor Holden. Do we have a second?
I'll move.
We have a second by Councilor Kaler. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. We'll go to payments and claims and the approval of accounts payable. As I said before, we did have a change on this one, so going to the 401 permanent improvement project, or permanent improvement, is $66,666.66, and that's coming evenly out of the 601 water and the 603 sewer in the amount of $33,333.33. Going to the 403 reserve for capital outlay is $20,567.25. That's coming from the 601 water in the amount of $14,693.00, and the 603 sewer fund of $5,874.25, for a total transfers of $87,233.91. Accounts payable, International Falls claims is $670,207.78. Again, that addition today was the North Cooch Area Sanitary District, $158,704.87. International Falls Library Board claims of $7,063.04, for a total accounts payable of $835,975.69. The chair would entertain a motion to adopt the resolutions for the payments and claims.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councilor Kaler,
I'll second.
second by Councilor Buller. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we'll go to the audience. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to bring something forward that is not on the agenda? Hearing none, there'll also be an opportunity later in the meeting. We'll go to opening bids and quotes. We have a recommendation to reject the only bid for the 6th Street LSL Water Service Replacement Project on 5th and 6th Street. Chair would entertain a motion to deny that quote.
So move.
We have a motion by Councilor Buller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Wagner. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we have a bid for demolition of a property located at 1710 4th Avenue West. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councillor Holden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councillor Wagner. Any discussion? Please.
Mayor, we need to open those bids. They were sealed bids for the 1710 4th Avenue West.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was going for the low bid, but yes, please.
Yeah, because we haven't got
Yep,
there yet.
Yep,
My apologies, I should have.
yep, no problem.
So we have 3 bids that were received. I will be opening them in the order in which they were received.
Okay,
Our first bid is from Travis Thompson for 1710 4th Avenue West for demolition. And that amount is $4,890. And he has indicated that all details would be taken care of in accordance with the quote. Bid number 2 is from Steve Boyum Construction for 1710 4th Avenue West. Signing that all the documents or requirements would be met, $4,250. The third bid was received from J&J Contracting, LLC. Signing off that they would acknowledge and remove accordingly. That bid was $6,900.
okay, so if I'm correct, which we've always taken the low quote, Councillor Holden and Councillor Wagner, the low bid was from Steve Boyum for $4,250. Is that the bid
Yep.
you guys are willing?
Yeah.
Yep. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I have one.
Please.
Just addition. The owner of this property contacted me today. This property was signed by agreement to repair, remove. The deadline for that was August 26th. She did call me today and wanted more time. I simply said I would pass on that request. If you have questions of me or anything, I can try answer those, but she asked for more time. I just informed her it wasn't likely.
Okay. Any additional thoughts on that?
I think the request should have been made back when the due date was, not wait until now.
I mean, we're really at the point
Yeah.
where we've already put out, and now the city's expended more funds for this project, so. All right, so we have a motion and a second. It would be my belief that we move forward with the demolition.
Yeah.
So unless anyone wants to amend the motion or to take it off the table, I'll call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. All right, we'll go down to new business. The first thing on here is from Bethany Tupper, and I just want to give a little background. Go ahead and take a seat. I just want to give some background on what has transpired and how we got to this point. At our last city council meeting, and you can see it in the minutes that we just approved, we had a gentleman from our community came up and said that he's been walking around the community and he had just had surgery and he's struggling to be able to walk on our city sidewalks. The issue that he's having is the cars were over the sidewalks and he had to go into the street to do that. There was no direction that was given at that particular council meeting by the city council. However, after that conversation, our police force did issue tickets for that particular ordinance violation. It's not only a city ordinance violation, it's also a state ordinance violation. I didn't know anything about that until I got the phone calls about it on Wednesday morning, I believe. I did reach out to the city administrator. I also had spoke with our police chief, and we decided we were just going to have a conversation about it, and we were going to bring the information to the committee of the whole, which we had last week. At that conversation, it was my belief that we would be able to waive those parking tickets because it was a unique situation. We had not enforced that in the past. When we had the conversation with the committee of the whole, with the city council, and hearing from the police chief and the city administrator, the problem is if we were to alleviate those tickets, the situation ends up coming up that, you know, what about the people that got a regular parking ticket? The first time that someone got a parking ticket, they didn't know that we had calendar parking. So we've had conversations at the council level, and we understand that it is not something that has historically been ticketed for. However, it is on our books, and it is also a state law. And so it's the decision of the council that we are not going to alleviate those tickets. It was my intention to do so. I wanted to do so, but then understanding more information from our police chief, the city administrator, and listening to the folks on our city council, that has not been the decision that we've made. With that being said, there was additional conversation today about a unique situation at our Public Safety Committee regarding a specific issue that we have with a parking ordinance. So with that background, I'm definitely going to let anyone that wants to speak on this particular issue, but it is on the agenda for Bethany Tupper to speak before the council. Please come forward. And again, there is nothing to be worried about. We're just people.
Yeah, well, people that make big decisions.
Go ahead, sit down, man.
Please.
Okay.
Can I ask you to state your name and address for the record?
Yes, for those who don't know, my name is Bethany Tupper. I live at 1003rd Street here in International Falls. I purchased that home about 5 years ago and have now just started receiving the issue that we are talking about. Oh my God, sorry. You guys make me nervous. Thank you. I live here in International Falls. I would like to bring this issue up about parking tickets in specifically my neighborhood. My neighborhood was built over 100 years ago here in International Falls. When that was built, there was no sidewalk. My driveway, I would assume, was in code at that time. I cannot park in my driveway without parking on the sidewalk. Yes, I can park my car in my garage, but my pickup truck does not fit. There is calendar parking on the avenue, but I have right now issues of construction going on at Bacchus. The construction workers are parking in the avenue and on the main highway on 3rd. Yes, they are disappearing now because they are coming to the end of their job. Hence, there is parking up now. But the other issue that I have on the avenue is there's an apartment complex across the street from me. They use the calendar parking. I don't have enough room to park my 2 vehicles on calendar parking with the alley and the stop sign and the fire hydrant and with all the other people that go back and forth. I do not want to park halfway down the block with a 2-year-old who does not intellectually understand not crossing the road, not running into the road. I ask that we come up with a compromise because I understand when you're wrong, I get that. But it's hard when you don't have options. So I have photos of when I come home on my night shift from 6 a.m., where am I gonna park? There's no parking. I gotta park in my driveway or in my garage. It's summertime. I didn't want to park in my garage. We use it for other things. I mean, I figured I'd pay for it, right? But I just am asking for some kind of compromise, because if things just keep going up and up with, you know, taxes and house stuff, and my house was over 100 years old. There's stuff to fix. You know, I can't afford living paycheck to paycheck and paying $40 a day to park. Like, I pay a crap ton of taxes. I should be able to park in my driveway. And yes, I get it. I use the sidewalks daily with my child. I'm sorry. I would like some kind of compromise, because it's only right. And there should be an exception to some kind of rule. I mean, I get it. If your house was built 3 years ago, like, you got different codes, but I can't change. I'm not going to knock down my house and change. 'Cause-
Understood, and your specific issue is the one that did come up at the public safety meeting today. Do you want to enhance on that a little bit?
Yeah, so we spoke on it today, and we, as far as the driveway, there's not a whole lot we can do there.
Right. And I'm not
But-
going to pay to, you know, enhance
Yeah.
that. I'll lose my yard.
The calendar parking and possibly some other ideas are maybe some permit system
Right.
possibility.
And-
Chief
and-
Koscheck is looking into that with the city administrator going forward
Right.
to maybe help alleviate.
And that's what I had suggested was, I mean, at this point, I'd be willing to even pay for stupid little stickers that go on my car that say I can park there, because at $40 a day, even if they were $100 a sticker, I'm saving money, because, you know, then what happens when winter comes? You know, then I'm blocking the main street, so that's causing, you know, major issues for everybody in town who's driving. You can't, you know, the snowbanks, and then the avenue, and then the, what do you want to call it, the alley? Like, can't find anywhere to put the damn stone now.
And
Like-
we struggle with parking in our community all over. In fact, we have all of the new apartments that are being put together above our main street.
Right.
There's nowhere to park for those. So we need to come up with parking solutions, and we totally get it. Please.
I just out of general curiosity.
Can you just state your name and, for the record, and address?
Brett Christensen, 1300 First Avenue. Just out of curiosity, does anybody up here actually have a sidewalk that goes through their driveway?
I do not. No.
So you have off-street parking?
I have on-street parking.
On-street parking?
Yeah.
So nobody here actually understands.
Oh, I completely understand.
Because with her situation, my situation, I literally had 2 bumpers of each one of my vehicles on a sidewalk. You did not have to physically move to go through my sidewalk. And I got 2 parking tickets on it. And to say I was not very happy about it would be an understatement. One of them is a personal truck, one of them is a work truck. The police officer literally had to go onto my property to write those tickets, property that I pay taxes on. I do apologize that there is a sidewalk there. It's a sidewalk that I maintain. I maintain it in the summer, I maintain it in the winter. I guess I don't really understand what we're supposed to do if we have a driveway that has a sidewalk going through it. I bought the house like that. It's never been an issue up until last week. There are plenty of laws that local law enforcement does not enforce in this town that are way more criminal than a sidewalk being built through your driveway. So my general concern is for the people who don't have sidewalks going through their driveway, those are the people we're trying to talk to and get through to them, that we need to be able to use, she should not have to park and use calendar parking because there's a sidewalk going through her driveway. She pays taxes on that driveway. She pays taxes on everything, as do I. I don't maybe have the same issue she does. I sent pictures to the city council lady. We've already had that discussion. But for the people that have to park on that sidewalk, I guess I personally don't see the massive issue with having to walk around that. If one gentleman had surgery and had a problem with it, I'm sorry. Hundreds of thousands of people have surgeries. But for us to have to sit here and take time out of our day to discuss this because one guy had a problem walking around vehicles.
And so, and number one, not falling on deaf ears. I understand exactly what you're saying. The conversation that myself and Chief Koscheck had too, though, is if it gets out, once the conversation comes to the city council and it's in the newspaper that we have a person that can't utilize our sidewalks, and now if we don't do something about that, it's showing that our police are not doing their job. So it's a catch-22 of the situation, but I do understand what you're saying. The other thing that came up in our discussions about this specific issue is most of the curb cuts that we have that allow you to utilize your garage is to be able to get into the garage. And then
Mine's short.
Yeah, yours is short.
Mine is
exactly.
short by about 3 feet.
Fair enough. And please, can you state your name and
So my name's Marissa Ross. I live at 600 7th Street, and we have the same issue. We've been parking the same way since we bought the house 4.5 years ago, and we didn't receive tickets up until last week. And we don't think we should have to put our truck that does not fit in our garage in the street. Is that really what we want to do, is put more vehicles in the streets for snow removal? And then when I called about it, I was told over and over that it's because sidewalk safety. And again, I get it, somebody had surgery. I work in surgery. I understand what people need to be doing after their surgeries. Our neighbor had a total hip replacement, and he was out walking, and not once did our vehicles or anyone else's vehicles really bother him. But if sidewalk safety is really what we're talking about, okay, then why is not snow removal enforced? Because I'm somebody who walks when it's nice out, but yet that's never enforced to the point where you can walk safely. The sidewalks in town, they're also damaged and buckled to where you can't even safely push a stroller. There's missing pieces of sidewalks. And then I just don't understand why all of a sudden we're picking on this. This is something, like I said, we've been living there 4.5 years. My husband and I, we came from out of state. We're not even from here. We chose to move here, a young family, into this town that, you guys want to bring that in here. But all you're doing is we will not stay there. If we really cannot park in our driveway, we will leave.
thank you. You have something?
Cheryl Christensen, 604 6th Street. So every Sunday, the calendar parking is not enforced by any police officers. And you cannot drive up and down 6th Street or 6th Avenue while church is going on, when there's a wedding, when there's a funeral, a baptism, a potluck. Nobody gets a ticket. And you can only get one car going one way, and everybody else has to wait until you pass, and then they come through. So do we have to call up here and make a formal complaint for that? I'm assuming calendar parking is an ordinance, a law that's supposed to be enforced. So why are these people all getting a pass, but you can't park in your driveway on property you own and you pay taxes on? And those sidewalks went through long after those places were built and those driveways were put in. So if you're gonna say we have to enforce it because it's a law, there's all kinds of traffic laws you guys are enforcing. Every single day, every Sunday, every time someone gets married, there's a funeral. So you're gonna come out and start ticketing all the churchgoers every Sunday up and down every avenue and street? Is that gonna happen? Because if I have to file a formal complaint so that happens, I will. Because this is ridiculous.
Exactly what she's talking about. I live right there, and you can only one car file, but yeah, I'm supposed to put another one out there.
Well, like right now, there's a football game going on.
Yeah.
Where am I?
In front of Bacchus either for any event there.
And that night that we received tickets, directly across the street were 2 vehicles parked the wrong side all night long, but yet that was ignored. But my vehicles in my driveway were not.
Well, and I have a question, because if we're getting tickets at night, mind you, that's like what, 3 a.m. to 6?
Mine was timed 2 a.m.
Right. No offense, you shouldn't be walking out that late unless you're drunk or causing problems. If we're gonna start park during the day, would make more sense to get the ticket, because you're in your driveway during the day. People are out walking during the day, right? Why am I getting it at 3 o'clock in the morning? No one should be out walking.
Well, and so, do you guys have anything else to add? Because I'd like to have the police chief come up and speak.
One more, just little, it's minor. 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. I think I can speak for everybody when I say we don't want anybody, whether it's a law enforcement officer, somebody just walking through my driveway, on our lawn. We don't want you on our property at 3 in the morning. Whether it's issuing a parking ticket in our driveway, that's not okay. I don't go to other people's houses at 3 o'clock in the morning. I did not go to that law enforcement officer's guy at 3 o'clock in the morning and stand in his driveway while his family's sleeping, while his kids are sleeping. It's not okay. As far as a vehicle being parked on the side of calendar parking, I don't want my vehicle on calendar parking. I don't want it on the street. It's much more of a safety hazard. If some guy who's drunk at 3 in the morning goes and blindsides my truck, and now I have to make an insurance claim when it could have been safely tucked in my driveway because there's a sidewalk there. That is my driveway, we should be able to utilize it. All of us should be able to.
Okay, thank you. Diane?
Diane Smalley, 903 6th Street and 9th Avenue. My garage sits on 9th Avenue, and I lived on 9th Avenue probably several years. So I'm an old timer. I'd say totally sitting on 9th Avenue about 44 years. So anyway, I understand laws. I understand calendar parking. I've had a number of tickets, especially when I lived in my old house on 9th Avenue. But those laws, they're posted. The signs clearly state no parking, even numbered days, no parking, odd numbered days. And anyone coming from out of town or that's new to town should see them. That's what they're there for. In regards to the sidewalk issue, changes have been made over the years. When my garage was built, probably umpteen million years ago, the sidewalk was in a different spot. 9th Avenue has been widened. I have no problem parking elsewhere or partway into my garage during the day, but I would have liked to have known about this in advance. And there's such a thing as newspapers, radio, television. It should be out there for people to know in advance. And I really don't appreciate the double talk. The council saying, oh, the police officers, and the police officers saying, oh, the council ordered us. It's not right. And as for these people here who don't have options, my sympathies and my agreement that some exceptions, some permits be issued for them.
Okay, thank you all.
We also have the problem, the sheriff's department also parks on the sidewalk, just saying. So if we're gonna issue it to the public, it's also gonna be for the government as well. Just saying.
Yes, correct.
Their vehicles are blocking, their bumpers go into the sidewalk too.
All right, thank you all. I'm going to have the chief come up and speak. Thank you, guys.
Hello, everyone.
So, Chief, before we get going, I want to be very clear. Did anybody on our city council direct you to have your officers file these or do these tickets?
I spoke to Betty about it the following day,
Okay.
about the concerns raised at the council meeting.
Okay. But no one on the council, and we didn't know anything about the tickets going out, correct?
No.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to be clear on that because I was just as shocked getting the phone calls the next day as everybody else was. So, again, please, would you like to?
And first of all, I don't think you should be shocked. I think it was the indication that if there was a problem, we should have dealt with it.
Yeah.
Whether or not that was verbal at the council meeting, I think it was pretty implicit in the way the thing went.
I would agree with
So
the chief. It was implied.
I don't think we're parsing words here. I think we all share responsibility in this.
Absolutely.
And I talked to the officer and told him to look for the infractions, but I think we should avoid saying we had nothing to do with this, it was just the police department.
Okay,
That
I'm
isn't
sorry.
the case, and I want to make that clear. Our officers did exactly as they were advised to. They looked for any infractions and wrote as needed, and that directive came from me. I hope that.
Yeah,
answers your
absolutely.
question.
And again, I'm not trying to push it directly on you, it's just the conversation, it
was
seems
the
like it was
inference I
coming out
received.
that the
That was
city
the-
council had given
The
the,
inference I made from speaking with city administrator was that this was a problem you guys wanted dealt with, and we dealt with it. So that was how we came to be in this position.
okay. So, council, we had a conversation about it, where do we want to go with this? Do we want to move forward with, this was a learning lesson, and it cost $20, how do we want to handle it? We had a conversation at the committee of the whole meeting regarding, oh, please.
I would just like to say, and I apologize up front because I kind of I'm going to just speak plainly. I kind of do that. Our officers are being put in an impossible situation. If you want calendar parking enforced all year round, as well as the sidewalk ordinance enforced all year round, and we need, and truthfully, they had valid points. This has to be a complaint-driven process in some ways, like you also had a good point. If people can't walk safely down a sidewalk, and that's brought to our attention, that's a public safety issue we have to address. So now we have to think, and we brought this up at the public safety meeting, do we choose lesser two evils and allow these exemptions with calendar parking, which is a city ordinance, rather than say, we're not going to enforce state statutes, right? And as we're having these basic conversations, and Bethany's was one of the cases we brought up, I think that bears some conversation about being more lenient in the city ordinances where we can to allow these circumstances. And I feel for everyone who came up here. I've gotten parking tickets, and from many different cities, and I don't appreciate them when I get them, I'm going to be honest with you. It's one of the things. But I think it's very easy for the council to hear a complaint and then tell us, and maybe not this council, but prior ones, to say, do your job and get out there and do this all the time, and our officers do it and bear the brunt of that. And that's my job, to bear that brunt. But I don't think our officers are exactly as they were told. They're just put in these difficult situations where, like you said, what are they going to do? They were told to do something, they did it. And so I think the bigger conversation is maybe looking for some more leniency and exemptions with permits with the city ordinances, rather than picking the sidewalk where we're not going to do that. Being a state statute, in my opinion, it would be more prudent to look at the city ordinances and maybe look for some leniency there, so.
Well said, Mike.
So is that something that the Public Safety Committee is willing to continue having some more dialogue and
Yeah,
conversation
we
along
plan
with
on-
Public Works?
Yeah, we were planning on having more discussion on it, so.
All right,
Doesn't happen overnight,
right.
but we gotta discuss it.
I think,
City Administrator, do you have anything to add?
Nothing additional. Nope.
Please.
I think it'd be good to get it into public safety, but then once you guys come up with something, bring it to us at Public Works so we can. maybe
That's what we
work out
planned on
something that we
doing.
plan to-
We talked about that
work it
today,
out,
and that's what we have, yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Chief. Sir, did you want to add
I
something?
have a question I wasn't got before. Are they going to continue now to put out their tickets?
I would say at this point, yes.
Okay, as my understanding is we can't park in the driveway till we park on the boulevard.
I don't know where your,
I would advise, I feel awkward talking to all of you, but, so if what I would.
Parked all over the boulevard, is like.
I would park where you can on the street, and if you have concerns, and you had a valid one about the Sunday parking,
Sundays, weddings.
then call us, and we'll, but this was a complaint-driven process that we have to meet with. And then
I don't want to be that person, I'm just pointing out that you can't pick and choose.
I totally agree.
The problem, we live in a community where we have to decide how we want the streets to be.
And as far as the sidewalk driveway thing goes, aren't you saying that's a state?
Yeah, that's a
So
state,
you guys can't do anything about that, right?
right.
That's why I would advise us parking on the street. And Bethany can attest to this. You're more than welcome to come and talk to me anytime you want. And you can come in, and if you don't wanna call in a formal complaint, you can talk to me about your.
I'm bothered because it's like we're picking and choosing what we're gonna enforce. And I don't wanna be the person who calls up just to be petty and say, all right, come and ticket all these churchgoers because
Well, and-
we're getting ticketed.
I wouldn't say, Dave, no, and I don't say, but in a way, we are picking and choosing as community because you don't want 100% enforcement of the agreement. If we have to pick out the things. that
And
are-
here's,
Either you 100% enforce
Right.
everything or you don't enforce
But
it.
we historically, using discretionary powers, the concerns that come up within the community we're addressing, trying to do that in the best way to keep everyone's happy and we can.
As far as parking on the boulevard, there's campers, there's big fifth-wheel campers parked on the boulevards everywhere. Is that, can you do that? Can you store your car? Can you park on the
I would
boulevard?
highly suggest you having that conversation with the chief one-on-one because
You don't know if that's an ordinance or not?
I do know that it's an ordinance, but with that being said, I don't know, because they may be getting a ticket, they could be getting it mailed to them. I don't know those specifics.
They're getting a ticket because they're parking there for, you know, a month, they're all summer long. These people are parked there.
Yeah.
I was getting a $20 ticket every day.
And they shouldn't be parked anywhere for more than 24 hours.
Right.
And that's valid.
They're just parked there.
That's valid. And maybe that's something we need to do a better job of looking at.
All right, so everyone,
No, you covered it pretty good.
All right.
What were we talking about, that camper on the boulevard?
Yeah.
It's a block down from the temporary police station.
Yeah.
Been there all summer.
Yeah. And when you come out that alley, you gotta inch out of there so you don't get hit by a car.
And nothing's been done about that, so why can't we park on the boulevard?
And that is
those
what
are going to have to be the conversations you have with chief.
And you're more than welcome to come and talk to me anytime you want.
Yeah.
And I can talk to you about those, any
Yeah.
situation you want, all right?
Yeah. I'm just talking to you now and telling you where it's at.
I'm talking to you right now.
Well, see, and now we'll address it.
Tomorrow, I expect it to be
We'll look at
gone.
it. Yeah, we'll look at
Same
it.
way there's been a motor parked up on 7th Street, wrong side of the street all summer long. And they were supposed to move it a week ago. I understood you people went over and talked to them. It's still there. Today it was on the right side of the street. Now tomorrow, it's gonna be on the other side of the street. It's gonna be right where it says no parking on odd days. We never got a ticket all summer long. How can you park a golden motor on the street? with the
He
same
may
car?
have, I know I've sent officers over and he may have gotten a ticket, and I can check on that, but we'll look at it.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, guys. And again, we are going to continue to see what we can do with parking, because it's not just an issue that we have now. It's issues that we're having with the downtown area. It's issues with all over the community. So we're going to continue to look and assess that with the public safety and public works. Thank you, Chief.
Well, don't forget to bring up winter time with the snow removal too.
We actually, Mike Wallace has already fixed all of that. No, I'm just kidding. We do have, last year we actually started the process and we outlined all of the sidewalks that, talk to me afterwards because it's a longer conversation.
Well, I have a little guy that doesn't include that
Yeah.
actually here.
Yeah.
But if that was began last year, then True Star wasn't even upheld keeping their sidewalks clear. My husband walks to work, he has to walk on the street because of snow removal, not people on their driveways, snow removal.
Okay.
So that's a bigger concern for the sidewalks than this, parking in your driveway.
Okay.
So I'm confused, is the problem walking on the sidewalk or
I'm
not?
not walking on the
Well, when I
sidewalk.
called downtown, initially when we got the tickets, we were told it's because people can't use the sidewalks. Well, walking around your vehicles they're hanging over the driveway a little bit, people aren't in the street, they're in the boulevard. But when there's so much snow piled up everywhere, you can't walk in the boulevard, you have to walk in the street. So that's a bigger concern than this that we've decided to tell everybody they can't park in their driveway.
And I will follow up with you. We actually have a program to address that, and it's in its infancy because we started this process 2 years ago, and the first thing that we tried to do, and this is why I wanted to try to get those parking tickets removed for the folks, because we needed to outline that we were going to be enforcing the snow removal on sidewalks. I do have a copy of that program, and I'll drop it off at your place.
Well, it hasn't changed in the 2 years that it apparently started, just letting you know.
Yep. Well. Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to second item on the agenda, adopt a resolution approving the application for a 1 to 4 day permit for on-sale liquor at St. Thomas Aquinas Church for a community dinner fundraiser for St. Thomas School on November 2nd, 2024. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councillor Holden. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Councillor Wagner. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we'll go to the Airport Improvement Program, Project 3274346, 2024. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that. Excuse me.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councillor Wagner,
Second.
second by Councillor Fuller. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we have approval and authorization for execution of a maintenance contract for service with Hamilton Medical for 2 ventilators for the ambulance service. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. The contract is as written in front of you. The big distinction I want to make with everybody is I'm well aware that we signed a contract with Stryker to do all our stuff. These are literally the only 2 pieces of equipment that are not owned or manufactured by Stryker. So they do need annual maintenance to be compliant. These are the ventilators that if somebody is intubated and we're breathing for them, that's the device that does it. So these are very critical pieces of equipment and they require annual maintenance. That's why you're seeing a maintenance contract outside of our ALS 360.
So do we not have 4 of them, or do we only have 2 in ambulance?
We only have 2.
Okay. Is there a reason why we don't have 4?
They're not a often used piece of equipment and they're fairly expensive. So the maintenance that goes along with them is $1,500 a piece. And I think the last time we bought them, they were around $15,000 a piece to purchase. We have the 2 that we rotate through. One always stays in the first out 911 rig, and then we have a second one available for transfers. I would say even during COVID, the call to have 2 ventilators was, we never used 2 at the same time that I can recall ever, but don't make me say that again. So anyway, they take up a little bit of space in the ambulance. The vent circuits and everything that go along with that is just it's a piece of equipment we could look at adding on to, but truth be told, I don't know that it's a prudent purchase.
So other than the first out for 911 service, is there any designation that you would know that you need a ventilator for a call? This is kind of outside what you're at. I'm just trying to understand it.
For a transfer?
Not for a transfer, for a call for service. Would you know?
Depends how the call comes in, how it's dispatched.
Okay.
I would imagine the 2 you're most apt to go first have the ventilators in them.
Yep. And then if we get called for a transfer that we know is going out of town, we know it's a respiratory distress, respiratory failure, anything that would indicate possibility of event, then that would be sent in the transfer rig.
Perfect. All right, Chair would entertain a motion to approve. Please.
This is for 2 years or 1 year?
1 year, 2 units for 1 year.
Okay, thank you.
Chair would entertain.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councillor Holden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councillor Wagner. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief. All right, next we have a resolution for a hearing on proposed assessment of the cost of improvement for bituminous paving of 9th Avenue East between 19th Street East and 20th Street East. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion by Counselor Buller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Holden. And so then with this, we'll have a public hearing on October 7th. We'll send out all the proper necessary
We'll advertise.
information. We'll advertise it. We'll make sure that folks know that we're having a meeting for that. We have a motion and a second. Do you have anything to add?
That's correct.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Approve the recommendation of the selection committee to hire Rice Lake Construction as the construction manager at risk, CMAR, for the water plant rehabilitation project. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councilor Buller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilor Kaler. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries. Go to the Public Works Committee recommendations. Approve the purchase of a Step Manufacturing 3.0 CY 4-ton diesel dump style premix heater. It's a pothole patching machine. From Fund 402, the street capital outlay. Chair would entertain a motion to make that purchase.
So moved.
We have a motion from Councilor Buller
Second.
and a second by Councilor Holden. Discussion. Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Why isn't Ted here? He likes to talk.
They're at,
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. All right, we'll go to the Committee of the Whole recommendations. Approve advertising and hiring for 3 part-time seasonal parks and facilities assistant positions. Basically, this is for Cary Park Arena. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that
We have a
motion.
motion by Councilor Holden. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Kaler. Discussion. Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we have the approval for the draft confined spaces policy and procedures. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Motion by Councilor Buller. We have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Kaler. Discussion. Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, approve the Caddy Business Technologies proposal for the telecom and E911 solutions. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make that
We
motion.
have a motion by Councilor Holden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Wagner. Discussion. Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries. Approve the professional services of Kraus Anderson to provide a facility condition assessment for the property located at 2232 Second Avenue East. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Go ahead, Walt.
Second.
Right at the same time.
Wow, I'm gonna go with, we're gonna go with Wagner with a second from Mr. Buller. That was really good, guys.
It was good.
Unison.
Yeah. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Yeah.
Same page.
Please.
Yeah, I would just say this is for the possible new police station. Correct? And whatever the findings are, and this may not be the time, but I'd just like to mention it, that I think we should limit the yearly cost, if possible, to as close as what the yearly rent was proposed for us to be part of the Koochining County's Law Enforcement Center's new development over there, whatever that was, around $100,000, if possible.
Well, once we do the
Well, I just wanted to make that, we're just not
Fair enough. I just wanted to
throwing a
understand.
whole bunch, unless
Okay.
we come across some money.
Okay. Please.
This is, if I'm correct, this is a review to get you guys in there, basically, and then they'll look at other things
Chief, do you want to come up, please?
going forward.
So it's,
That's the main focus is to get them in there.
yeah.
You're probably gonna simplify view, because I'm not an expert on this stuff, but, my understanding is, yeah, they're gonna go through
Yeah.
from the pavement and work their way in and come up with a strategic plan for what we need immediately versus 5 years, 10 years.
10 years.
Present it to you guys the same as the Cary Park project and go from there.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries. You want to just stay. Next, we have the hearing date of Monday, October 7th at 5:30 to take public comment regarding portable recording devices or body-worn cameras for the police department. Chair would entertain a motion.
I'll make that
We
motion.
have a motion by Counselor Holden. Do we have a second?
A second.
Second by Counselor Buller. Any questions for Chief Manassa? Chief, do you have anything to add about the body cameras or anything?
Other chief.
Sorry, I'm
Mike
so sorry.
Koster.
I'm so sorry.
Chief
I was
Costa.
actually gonna say you can contact, Chief Koscheck.
Yeah.
I provided the information.
11:50.
I almost fell over backwards, I did. I'm laughing, sorry.
For citizens.
Well, you guys have the same first name.
He doesn't need
Oh,
any, they can call me.
Good
about
memory,
it.
but it's short.
Yeah.
You
Anyway,
threw me off because you guys have the same first name.
Oh, man.
Chief, I know. I get them a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, the most important part of this is that we're opening up, per the statute, public input, and they can do that via email, which is provided here, and I'll also be putting it on our social media, as well as mail, regular mail, and they can mail that to me at our Bacchus address, both of which I'll put on our Facebook and also other media.
And I got on the radio last week
Yeah.
also.
How did Mike Wallace do on that?
He had a family emergency, so
Oh,
he.
weird.
And to be totally honest, I let him off the hook tonight. I let him sweat it out a couple
You
days.
turn beat red right now.
But I just want to add again that, that we're at a meeting and that this is a good step forward for the department, for the public and the officers in the department and the city.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Chief Manassa, do you have anything to add? Good.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. I'm sorry, Chief.
So,
I
you just
apologize.
saved your public comments. You don't have to write or call or nothing. You got them in right here. You're good.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, well, any other business for the council? All right, we'll go to reports of the administrator, attorney, department heads. We'll start with city administrator.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just a reminder, as we are getting in the thick of things with the election season, the campaign signs, lots of campaign signs going up, which is great to see. We have a city ordinance, section 1120 for signs, and that regulates them that you have to have permission from your property owner that you're putting them on. They have to be back out of the right-of-way. Also, state statute indicates the same thing, and that dictates the highways and right-of-ways, can't be placing them on utility poles or on trees, or you can't be painting or drawing on, different things either. There's definitely rules and regulations. All the candidates receive the information when they sign up. So just a reminder, because there's lots of signs going up, good to see, but they need to be.
We have gotten some complaints as well, correct?
That is why I'm bringing it up.
Okay, just want to be clear.
And with that, the state, Department of Transportation, the county, the city, we all have authority to remove signs that are in the right-of-way without notification. So if the signs come up gone, they will be placed here at City Hall, and the candidates will be able to pick them up here, because we are getting questions. And so we are, addressing those as they're coming in.
So I should be reading that folder of stuff you gave me?
Well,
And you can keep them, by the way. That'll save me some trips.
And I personally have gotten a complaint about one of my signs, so I went and I moved it. And I'm not making any excuses, but sometimes candidates have signs available and individuals put up signs and don't have the information from those packets. So
Whatever.
If you see your own signs, go put them where they should be.
Oh, no, I'm gonna save me some trips on November 6th.
Okay, we'll go to city attorney.
I don't have anything additional.
Oh, what's that?
Pretty quiet over here.
Really? Huh. Okay, then. Department heads? Anybody? In your packet, you have the police monthly report for August, fire and rescue EMS monthly report for August, reports to the mayor, council, committees, boards, and commissions. Anybody have anything to bring forward?
I would just like to remind everybody about the candidate forum next Wednesday, the 25th at 6 o'clock. And on the 26th, the grand opening of, or public opening of the Bacchus. Not Bacchus, AB building. Not show up because I think Commissioner Roach is going to give a little talk that day. Right? Are you? They didn't tell you? Yeah. But come see what's going on and what approving in the good work and everything. That's all I have.
Perfect. Anybody else have anything?
We got a sewer meeting tomorrow.
Yes. Exciting.
Yeah, well, always.
All right, we will go to audience if there's anyone in the audience that would like to bring anything forward. All right, well, in correspondence, we have information in your packet from the Voyageurs National Park chosen by the Park Trust and National Park Service as a 2024 Challenge Cost Share awardee. The Coochin County Board of Commissioners minutes from August 20th, their meeting agenda from September 10th, and International Falls Public Library meeting information for September 11th. Reminders that there is going to be a public hearing on 9th Avenue East project. That's going to be on Monday, October 7th. And our next regular city council meeting is also at Monday, October 7th at 5:30. With nothing else before us, this meeting is adjourned.